American political extremism has greatly increased in the past 20 years. This is primarily due to social media. An I Volunteer International online article states that the percentage of American extremists using social media to promote their ideas in 2016 had risen to 87% from just 8% in 2005. The increase in political extremism has led to an ever-growing divide being created within both American politics and society. According to a blog post from the L. Douglas Wilder School of Government and Public Affairs at Virginia Commonwealth University, while the federal government doesn't have an official definition for what political extremism is, political extremists have polarized beliefs related to political issues.
Trying to overthrow a democratic election, trying to force out a governor, which we saw in Michigan.
Some political extremist groups would offer a different definition. These groups often refer to the opposing side as the extremists while painting their own solutions as more rational. According to the Counter-Extremism Project, the far left encompasses multiple ideologies, but security experts believe that a large percentage of far-left radicals subscribe to at least one of three main classifications: anarchism, communism, and autonomous radicals. The Webster Merriam Dictionary defines anarchism as a political theory holding all forms of governmental authority to be unnecessary. The American Communist Party defines communism as eliminating private wealth from stock speculation, from private ownership of large corporations, from the export of capital and jobs, and from the exploitation of large numbers of workers. Autonomous radicals can be best described as people who subscribe to any of the former two ideologies but act independent. Right-wing groups' core beliefs are more centered around white supremacy, ethno-nationalism, and Nazism. White supremacy is described by the Merriam-Webster Dictionary as the belief that the white race is inherently superior to other races. Dictionary.com defines ethno-nationalism as the belief that shared ancestry is the principal element of a cohesive national identity, and that a government should protect and promote the culture of one group considered the primary or prestigious people of a nation over other cultures. Lastly, the Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines Nazism as political and economic doctrines held and put into effect by the Nazis in Germany, including the totalitarian principle of government, predominance of especially Germanic groups. Far-right groups seem to be more straightforward and on point with centrist definitions about their ideologies. Over the past 20 years, social media has become more increasingly accessible, and with that rise in accessibility, more and more people have begun getting their news from social media.
Come up with an analysis of America that's simpler than liberal and conservative, and it's just as wrong, because it misses what's really going on in this country. If you look at a real county-by-county map of election results, really the whole country's purple.
According to an Indiana University paper, which studied the effects of fake news perpetuated through social media, 62% of American adults regularly use social media as news sources. This makes a significant majority of the American population susceptible to biased news and media. The main way extremist groups and movements get more supporters is through the promotion of fake or altered news.
Beneath the surface of American politics lies a growing extremist subculture.
Because if someone starts to go down a rabbit hole of something that's false, like whatever, Barack Obama was not born in the United States. If people start to get into that, then I suppose they're going to get more and more feeds on that topic.
Social media has caused the division between people because people post false information and other things like that on social media, causing people to get more riled up.
There are many different cases of extremist groups encouraging their supporters to commit violent acts in the name of their beliefs. For example, the Pittsburgh synagogue shooting, where according to the Southern Poverty Law Center, the perpetrator had been posting extreme anti-Semitic rhetoric on the online social media platform Gab. Another example is the Youth Liberation Front, a far-left anarchist and militant group that has a network of multiple popular social media pages. According to a report on how far-left extremist groups spread over social media by the Network Contagion Research Institute, the group leverages social media to offer tactical advice during rallies, and the group explicitly supports violent tactics and, to avoid being identified, generally dresses in black, covering faces and hands.
We're all subject to it, doom scrolling. You can sort of look and just get agitated.
There's also been increase in people wanting to cause more political tension.
The majority of these political extremists on both ends of the spectrum see this as a sort of necessary evil to achieve their goals. One of the symptoms of this is a rise in both violence and threats against politicians. According to a testimony given by Rachel Kleinfeld, a senior fellow in Carnegie's Democracy, Conflict, and Governance program, threats against members of Congress are more than 10 times as high just as 5 years ago. Extremism also causes an inaccurate or distorted view of the world. According to a social sciences journal by the Routledge, Taylor, and Francis group, people adopt rigid ideological beliefs and reductionist black and white thinking, as this allows them to espouse straightforward and simple solutions to complex societal and political problems. Political extremism has seen a large spike in the past 20 years. It has never been easier for extremist groups to spread their messages. If we continue to let this situation deteriorate, it could have disastrous consequences on American society.
I certainly hope your generation comes up with things like more, whether it's apps or forced exposure, that we force ourselves to be exposed to the other point of view more often.